Hello and welcome back to CSL everybody. Today we have a wonderful Dota 2 match between the teams UC Davis and Georgia Tech. They are top teams in the season and this is going to be the fresh start of CSL Spring Season 2. Today I am casting, I am Zingle313. You can find me at Zingle Dota, and joining me today is Hachiko.
Hello, everybody. Just I'm a stand-in caster today, but hope you guys enjoy our dual cast. We've practiced it quite a bit together with some COD League casual casting streams, but today we're going to be official casters for CSL.
Yes, we will. Today we have teams, like I said just a moment ago, UC Davis and Georgia Tech. These are arguably some of the best teams in the entire tournament. We have UC Davis possibly being a top two, who knows, alongside Michigan State, who is another team that will be playing later tonight. And we have a very good history from UC Davis Aggies. And Georgia Tech, they have also had a strong fall, although after a poor 15 or 16 school year, 15 to 16 school year, they have faced very good teams. And this might be their chance to show that they are the top dog. They could take out a top contender. What do you think is going to come up?
I did some Dota buff scouting, and I could already tell this is going to be a good game. It looks like Georgia Tech have done some practicing. Yesterday, they were playing some five-man ranked captain modes games together, and I didn't see any of that from any of the players on the side of UC Davis. So they do have the higher MMR players. I do recognize a couple of them from pubs, Lucky 57 in particular. So they might just be attempting to rely on their skill, while it looks like Georgia Tech is realizes that they need to get that teamwork going to take out the higher MMR players from the side of UC Davis. And let's see how it goes. It's usually a common trend between CSL teams, where usually the higher skill players will tend to just rely on their skill, and the lower teams will realize that they need to get their teamwork going, their drafts, their strategies. So it should be an interesting game just based on that fact.
Yes, it should be. Alright, so this game will be starting up shortly, but as always, CSL is brought to you this season by many very lovely sponsors. Band Gaming. Band is a social app and a primary social app of CSL. It has many features such as creating groups, boards, calendar functions, polls, chats, and as of recently, call functionality. Band is a premier social experience for you and fellow gamers alike. You can find out more at band.us/home or find them on the Google Play and App Store. It won't necessarily make you the friends, but it'll definitely help you keep them. For joining the CSL community, you can find us at band.us/@CStarLeague. Or if you're looking for an admin just to have a chat or get some questions in about the entire operation, you can find them at that site at Mondays, 6 to 7 p.m. PT. Furthermore, we have Twitch we would like to thank. As always, we are nothing but grateful for the largest streaming platform in gaming to support collegiate esports. From PAX East to PAX West and many other gaming events, CSL would not be what it is today without the help and support from them. Be on the lookout for cool opportunities to get involved with Twitch and in the near future, and be sure to show them love and support on Twitter at .com/Twitch and at Facebook.com/Twitch. Last but not least, we would like to thank our new and lovely sponsor Asus to the CSL family for the 2016 to 2017 season. They are the provider for everything esports and gaming, from all their wonderful products such as monitors, laptops, routers, graphics card, motherboards, and more. Do not enter your battle without being equipped by Asus. It'll be sure to help you. And with that, we will give a lovely plug over to our sponsor for a quick ad, and we will be underway with the draft momentarily.
Ben, Sam, and Ken are on separate journeys to defeat the menacing Vile Dragon. But let's just say luck isn't on their side. If only there was a way for them to find each other and band together. Well, that's why there's Band. It's a mobile app that allows people to come together using common interests. With Band, you can find fellow gamers, chat, schedule gaming sessions, and conduct polls. Stage epic battles with friends while sharing videos and photos along the way. So try Band today. Band. Be together.
And here we are. Welcome back once again. Hachiko, what do you expect for these teams? The draft has begun. It will be a first pick for Georgia Tech.
So I was able to have a rough draft pattern from Georgia Tech from just the games that I saw them cast. It looks like Adstand is a Earth Spirit or a Earth Shaker player. He's played it in 3 games they played, with that ranked captain's mode, and it's most likely that they're gonna pick it up here. As most of the times when we're playing CSL, we have some players that might not be so diverse in their hero pools because you are limited to people from a certain school. So I've had players like that as well when I was playing in CSL. So they might just save it for now. I don't see them first picking it, but if UC Davis doesn't scout it out, they're most likely going to pick it up. And it does fit with their strategies.
Yeah, very much so. Speaking of the first phase, these first bands coming out, Underlord, we've seen, I guess we haven't seen too many series coming out in 7.0, but the one last Tuesday, or this past Tuesday, as well as this first game, first ban Underlord. Do you think that's worthy of a first phase ban or pick?
Alright, just bring me the Earth Shaker. Call it. Anyway.
That was a very good prediction.
Alright, so for the Underlord, it's a hero that is easy to run. It doesn't require too much coordination to get it to go off in the off lane. He's just a simple hero that is very strong right now, so that's why I see it being first banned out. But if you look at the bans from UC Davis, that is some pub bans right there. Luna, Ember gone immediately in the first phase.
However, those aren't only pub bans. If you're following any of the pro scene or just anyone's general opinion, these heroes are some of the strongest of the current meta. That is a very brawling, in-your-face, action scenario. So, very typical, very strong bans coming out. However, the Lone Druid Slardar bans, do you just feel these are comfort picks, or are these actually top-tier picks? Lone Druid is somewhat of a newcomer into the meta recently.
I watched the Lone Druid game today. He's very strong, but also has weird timings. He just has, especially around his talent tree, where he gets the 200 range and the 65 damage. He has that timing where he's just really strong, and then he falls off at some point in the late game. There was a game today between Vega and Cloud9, where Vega ran a Lone Druid, and they were able to secure 2 sets of racks, but unfortunately they weren't able to close out. Sorry for the spoilers, but I think they're strong together, especially with the Slaughter giving him the extra vision so that he can just start wailing at people from that incredible range. Quite clowny to see a Lone Druid do that, but it is the build nowadays, and I'm most likely going to see him go it in this game.
Yeah, something to note with a 200 bonus range from your talent and an extra 140 from a Dragonlance. Lone Druid, I think it's around 900 attack range, which is comparable to a Sniper before you have a Dragonlance. So it's not very traditional to see this hero when normally you're afraid of the bear, but it's actually the hero in the backlines who is now the threat. And Centaur Warrunner coming out from Georgia Tech, that's most likely an offlaner. So the offlaners for both teams picked up. Lone Druid, uncertain quite yet of where he's going to be laning, possibly mid, possibly safe lane. And that's going to probably solidify Earthshaker as a support. So how do you feel about the strategy of not picking a support in the first phase and just rushing 2 of your cores on UC Davis Aggies? Is that just because they're comfort heroes, they're their best heroes, or is this all just to bait, you know, some of the supports out of Georgia Tech first?
I mean, Slaughter could arguably still be a support, can be run as a 4-role, but I just really think they like those heroes together, and it fits with the strategy they're trying to run. Right. As I said, there's pretty good synergy between the 2 heroes in terms of the amplified damage as well as the incredible range in the Lone Druid. The minus armor helping him deal that physical damage from super far away.
Yep. UC Davies bans out Slark. Slark is a pretty good answer to both Slardar and Lone Druid, getting right on top of that hero. You can kind of look at it like a sniper now, where that hero does not want to be locked down and targeted, and Slark is perfect for jumping on the back lines.
Yeah, I've played this Lone Druid a couple times, and the weakness definitely is a hero that can just get right in your face. I had a problem with Monkey King where you just, if you get a play against a hero that can just jump on you and dish out a ton of damage to you, you just die before you're able to do anything. You're pretty much a sniper.
Luckily, so we won't be seeing Monkey King. Luckily, Monkey King is not here. That hero dominating all the pubs, but not quite in Captain's mode, so we don't even have to worry.
Reserve time.
A Shadow Fiend ban coming out could be a targeted ban because that hero is also making a comeback. It is not anymore a joke of a ban. So, and a Juggernaut Disruptor ban.
Dire team's
Disruptor
turn to
ban,
pick.
that's a kind of interesting support. It, implies aggression, and it kind of implies that they want a hero like Slark, but considering Slark's already banned out, do you think it's more for a... I don't know. What do you think?
Just from their previous bans with the
10
Silencer,
seconds
I think
remaining.
they really like to pick these heroes that just group up, run at
5
people,
seconds remaining.
and with the Disruptor, with the Cloud and the Glimpse, he can cause some disruption in
Reserve
their
time.
fight,
Ah.
which they don't really want.
Disruptor causing disruptions. Anyway, so now that the 2 cores picked up on the side of UC Davis, I wouldn't be surprised to see it do supports picked up and leaving their last pick for a core. Unless they have some silly strategy that they just need to get their cores out and before they get banned. Because having this minus armor does kind of reveal quite a bit by what they want to do. About what they want to do.
Alright, I was literally just about to suggest
Radiant
Vengeful Spirit, and
team's
it
turn
comes
to
out
pick.
right there.
Speaking of minus armor and synergy, Vengeful Spirit's minus armor early on is, in addition to Slardar's newly dubbed Corrosive Haze. They are
10
probably going to
seconds
be looking
remaining.
just to smack heroes hard and quickly, and then just,
They
5
might be
seconds
just
remaining.
copying Vega's draft from earlier today because they did have a Venge carry and a Lone Druid. It was off lane, but
Reserve
he was
time.
played in the safe lane.
do you
Might-
think? Do you
They might
think this
just
will
be coming out
Venge?
with a similar lineup. Yeah, it might be Venge carry. Who knows?
That would be a new one because Venge Carry in the past used to just be laughable with the introduction of the talents. It feels like talents are just changing all these heroes.
Dire
They're kind
team's
of
turn to
filling roles that they used to not fill. Lone Druid's main hero used to be a joke of a, it used to just be dubbed a creep, and the bear itself was the real hero.
And the range build was pretty much a meme.
Yep.
But now it's legit.
10
Oh,
seconds remaining.
but a good response from Georgia Tech. Winter Wyvern is just the master of
5 seconds
countering a
remaining.
physical damage lineup. You just toss under whatever the target is under Cold Embrace. They won't take anything,
Reserve time.
and you can turn it right back around on them. Winter's Curse, the Lone Druid hero, Winter's Curse Slardar, or Vengeful, and they're just going to get ganged up on and tossed away.
That was a hero I saw them pick up as well in their practice games. It most likely will be played by their captain right now, Bart. So that's their support combo right there. Earthshaker, Winter Wyvern. How do you feel about those two as a support? In my opinion, it's a bit weak.
Yeah, so they have odd laning stage
Radiant
spikes. Winter
team's turn to
Wyvern's
pick.
level 1 Arctic Burn is very strong for laning. However, that's a long cooldown for a level 1 support, and Earthshaker's Fissure doesn't exactly offer too much if you don't have a follow-up. So you might be looking for a super aggressive carry that can, take advantage
10
of that level
seconds
1 power
remaining.
spike, and then just secure a lane with that.
Yeah, because with
5
Winter
seconds
Wyvern's
remaining.
level 1 ability going on a extremely long cooldown,
Mhm.
and just all the stuns coming out from
Reserve
UC
time.
Davis right now, they're going to be in a bit of a trouble relying on that Earthshaker to get really good fissures off to stop the aggression coming out from UC Davis, because they might potentially run an aggro try with Lone Druid in the safe lane solo.
Yes. Something else I'd like to say is we also got thrown off. Maybe this was UC Davis, their strategy all along. Slardar was a bait, and it might not actually be an offlaner. With Sand King picked up, that is a more traditional offlaner, and Slardar has recently been played in the 4 role. Could be a dual offlane, it could just simply be a support Slardar. So maybe this was the secret to their draft all along. It wasn't a 1-2 pick for 2 cores.
Dire
Or just
team's
imagine
turn
that
to
lane
pick.
though, if they bring all 3 of those heroes together, maybe a Venge carry supports Slardar Sand King. That's kind of
Yeah, that's actually
Or-
scary.
something, or any of those 3 heroes can be the farmer in that lane, but if they just put all 3 of those heroes in a lane,
10 seconds remaining.
Georgia Tech is going to be have to be careful with what carry they pick, otherwise they're just going
5
to get
seconds
punished.
remaining.
Oh, for sure. Also, the Disruptor ban making a little bit more sense now with a Storm Spear picked up
Reserve
for Georgia
time.
Tech. Most likely, we're not
10
going to see an
seconds
AM
remaining.
picked up from UC Davis simply because they already have most likely all their
5
cores picked up.
seconds
Maybe
remaining.
it'll be the offlane Sand King support starter and they will take the AM, AM being the traditional counter to Storm Spirit. But, the both of the
Radiant
drafts are
team
really starting to flow together. It's really going to come down to this last pick to be able to say one way or another if there is an outdraft. Do you
So
feel like
far,
there's an
I'm
outdraft or no?
favoring UC Davis a little bit more right now just because of their aggression
10
from the
seconds
early game.
remaining.
But they are
Even
playing against the Storm Spirits.
is that
5
even with
seconds
Earthshaker
remaining.
and Wyvern, who are two very good heroes to counter aggression, and well-placed Fissure can kind of stop
Reserve
UC
time.
Davis in their tracks, as well as a well-timed Cold Embrace or Winter's Curse coming out of the Wyvern.
It's going to be a lot on their play. The ball is in UC Davis's hands, and it is up to Georgia Tech to catch it. But if they can get those turnaround ganks, I believe the draft is going to be even in that sense. But it's going to really depend on what they pick as their safe lane carry. And we're going to see the bans come out now. But from what I've seen, they've picked up CK a couple times, and it just might be that.
Alright, well, there's the AM ban. We
Radiant team's turn to
didn't
pick.
quite tell them that, but any heads-up player will know that an AM beats a Storm Spirit, and it would fit nicely still into UC Davis's draft, assuming they go that.
Wait, did UC Davis didn't actually?
They didn't ban. I think they just
They-
ran out of time.
10 seconds
Most
remaining.
likely it was not a disrespect, it was just they forgot, they didn't notice, it was
5
too short
seconds
notice, or
remaining.
they just didn't care enough. They didn't have any heroes that really counter their lineup right now, so they just kind of let it
Reserve
go,
time.
don't stress it, and use that extra time to think about their pick.
10 seconds remaining.
It's strategic.
Oh,
No, instead it's Spectre.
interesting. So this
Dire
hero you
heroes
see
to
picked
pick.
up in some of the tier 2 NA Dota scene. It is picked as a early aggression hero as opposed to the late game farming hero, opting for Helm of the Dominator, Blade Mail, some of those just early bulk items, rather than just the double down hope
10
for that you get
seconds
space
remaining.
to get a Radiance. Is that what you're expecting to see here, considering UC Davis's aggression,
5
or
seconds remaining.
not?
I did not expect to see that hero. They did play it in the games that I've went over, but a Spectre against that lineup definitely seems a little weak in the laning stage. And if they can't get over that, they're gonna have to have a hell of a game to just come back from the early game deficit that they're gonna take from all the aggression coming out from the side of UC Davis.
And with that last pick, OD from UC Davis, I think it's going to be a confirmed safe lane OD, or sorry, middle lane OD, safe lane Lone Druid, and a possibly aggressive lane tri-lane Slardar Vengeful Sand King off lane. With-
That's definitely what you do against a Spectre.
so, draft win, do you think UC Davis still has the draft win due to
10
the
seconds
ambiguity and then the
remaining.
nice wrap up with OD? Or do you think the Spectre last pick will be able to
5
clutch
seconds
out and
remaining.
secure the late game, mid game, and just hold off long enough for them to win it?
Honestly, it depends on their Spectre play. They have to get a really good early game going, protect him from the aggression coming out from UC Davis, and from that, we did see that sick Spectre game from BSJ a couple days ago. And if they play it anything like that, she is their hero that can get directly on the Lone Druid. Storm can do that as well. I think this OD is going to be the big game changer for UC Davis, and it is picked up by. It's actually not Lucky 57. I expect him to be their mid player, but instead he's going to be played by PMA.
Yep. Lone Druid, Lucky 57 has been playing Lone Druid in pubs recently. But with this pause underway, I'm going to go ahead and introduce some of the teams on the side of Radiant. We have
I'm fine with
two
waiting
Searing
now,
Chains
but
playing
let's
Storm
go.
Spirit. We have Adstant playing Earthshaker, as expected from our little scouting analysis report. We have Bartlett playing Winter Wyvern, Leaden Toke playing the offlane Centaur, and Game is Hard, the self-reported 100 MMR player playing the Spectre safe lane. On Dire side, UC Davis, we have Lucky 57 playing the Lone Druid. We have Chinese name, maybe Chinese, some sort of Asian, I'm sorry. Asian name playing Slardar, UCD Hope playing Sand King, middle PMA on the OD, and Chocobo on the Vengeful Spirit. So,
Is there any reason my screen is just stuck on the Dire Ancient?
no idea. Try resetting your Dota, because I had that same bug recently.
Alright,
seconds
I'm
to
gonna
battle.
disconnect.
Alright, with the early game, we have a TP from
Oh
Centaur
no, we've got a
planting a
DC.
Scouting Ward, and that's actually going to see PMA playing OD in the safe lane with a support Slardar and a mid
Who could
Lone
turn away from
Druid.
this
This is
battle?
I have
not
to
at all what
restart
we expected.
entirely. Alright.
Yeah, this is not at all what
We're
we
it
expected
back
from
in.
the lanes. And it's going to be traditional lanes from the side of Georgia Tech. They're going to scout out the Spirit Bear. The Bear's actually going to try to steal the rune since it can take it. Will it get it? It does not seem like it will. Lone Druid will just take his rune with his hero while his Bear takes some needless harass trying to scam them from a rune. Middle lane, Earthshaker will stall the creep wave with a fissure.
Alright,
and then
I'm
go
back in
to
the
heal
game.
up.
Technical difficulties resolved.
So what do you feel about this bizarre laning? They're actually putting OD safe lane with a support Slardar, and then Vengeful Spirit, Sand King dual off lane, and Lone Druid mid.
2-1-2, it fits with Lucky as a player, as he is usually the mid player in pubs, but I guess they feel that Venge and Sand King are enough to shut down the Spectre. It's pretty strong lane. You do have double stuns as well as the Caustic Finale doing a ton of damage against the melee hero.
Honestly, though,
As for the OD safe lane, I don't think it's the best against the Centaur. I feel like Lone Druid definitely can zone out a Centaur a lot better than the OD can. He's a bit weak now with nerf to his Astro.
I
Just
think
so low range on it.
I think the laning of OD safe lane is fine because Lone Druid does well against Storms here. But if you look bottom, there's going to be a 3-man rotation for the off-lane Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful will go down, and now you see Davis Hope is just going to kind of walk away.
The first of many points.
Yeah, level 1, those two supports are pretty scary with the Arctic Burn coming out of the Winter Wyvern. If Ad Stant will hit a good fissure, that's going to be an easy kill, and they're going to go up for another kill here. It looks like Hope is going to be juking into the trees, and he's only level 1 still. No stun leveled up on him quite yet. He's falling quite low, but they don't have the mana to cast another spell. But no, Mango passed to the Spectre. I'm not sure if that was her own Mango, I believe, but just level 1 Spectral Dagger not being enough.
Once again, Hope getting away in very little health. There is still hope to be had.
He got lucky there.
Yeah, and Slardar is kind of playing an odd role here. He is still only level 1. He's securing the bounty rune from the offlaner, and he's just stacking and pulling and making sure OD gets his levels.
I believe the play was to pass the Mango to the Earthshaker instead, as he didn't have one on himself, and he was just clarity up very slowly. And with a fissure, they might have been able to get him. Just overestimating how much that level 1 Spectre Dagger actually does, but it's literally 50 damage. That's nothing.
Absolutely.
And not much slow either, only 8%.
So this supports Slardar. Is he kind of just like a zoning spook tool, or is he actually looking for kills here? Because a level 1 Slardar with an OD doesn't really have kill potential on the Centaur, and a Lone Druid mid with a Slardar doesn't really have kill potential on Storm Spirit, unless they have Vengeful Spirit, which looks like to be the plan.
Well, the Slaughter has already rotated out of the lane. He's looking to get stuff done with the Avenge. They're going to dive mid now with the Bear and the Lone Druid. Nice stun combination there, starting with the Venge into the Crush, and they get the kill onto Storm Spear in the mid lane.
Yeah, no TP rotations out of Georgia Tech, but they will look to be getting a kill on UC Davis Hope bottom, and Hope will once again just kind of walk away from the gank. They're not looking to overcommit here, even though they just showed the 2 supports mid.
It looks like Slaughter's idea of going top was just to get the pull, pick up the 2-minute bounty, and get his level 2. And then once he got that from the safe lane, he just rotated out and started meeting up with the Venge. And once again, they're going to go for a 2-man smoke here. And let's see if they're headed bot or mid. Once again, it looks like they're going to be going mid, trying to take out 2 Searing Chains on Storm Spirit once again. And here they go.
This time there is a
start with the
support
Venge
rotation
stun,
from Wyvern
and
with the Cold
Gonna come
Embrace.
up from Wyvern.
There's the Cold Embrace that we were talking about, kind of just stops UC Davis in their tracks, but they're just
The
tanking
Centaur
the
is
tower.
coming as well, but now they're just gonna tank the tower with the Bear. Nice 2-man stun from the Centaur Warrunner, and they're gonna turn around and get 1 kill.
Yeah, after losing your
I
mid
don't
twice, it is nice to
think-
get something, but that's still that's hurting for the side of Georgia Tech. So if you want to compare these lanes now, after the laning phase, 4 minutes in, we have a OD almost 10 CS ahead of the counterpart Spectre in the safe lane. Are these lanes crumbling for Georgia Tech with their mid dying twice and their safe lane being out CS'd by the other teams, or is there still hope?
Yeah, right now, no one on their team is farmed. It's not looking good at this point. Usually you want at least 1 lane to be won with a lineup like this, and their safe lane, even though they got a couple kills, or actually it was only 1 kill, the attempted kills on Hope that didn't turn out to be kills actually is going to hurt the Spectres. That probably meant she missed a couple CS going for them. And if you look at her CS score, she's fallen quite far behind the OD.
I was meant to have this.
But now both supports from the side of Georgia Tech realizing that they definitely need to get something done to bring their team back in the game. They're going to smoke up on the Winter Wyvern as well as the Earthshaker and attempt to kill onto the Lone Druid. And he actually doesn't have his Savage Roar leveled yet. So if they can get this initiation off, they might be able to find a kill. They're just waiting for Sword Spirit to hit 6, it looks like right now. And with this creep he will. Actually, they mistimed it.
But they do get a good fissure out, and they do have the Arctic Burn on to...
But he's too fast, I
but
believe.
he's quick, yeah. Storm Spirit got some of the XP stolen by his supports there, and he actually will end up going down with the stun rotation and an entangle. But yeah, he's not going to get away from this one. Lone Druid
that
sitting
fissure.
at 100 health.
They get him.
Solid fissure.
I
plus a
think
level
that's
6
that was a bit messy, but it was worth it at the end of the day.
Oh, for sure. Storm
That's
Spirit needs kills like
434
these.
gold going to Storm Spirit.
And now he's sitting on 1,000 gold. This is a solid comeback for what was a very unfortunate lane. And here's Slardar
meanwhile,
hunting down Earth.
Bottom, the Spectre gets chased out of the lane by the Venge.
Yeah, these, like you were saying, these multiple stun off-lane heroes are actually really strong in lane. You can just get chain stunned for about 5 to 7 seconds, even at level 1. And then the higher level they get, the more nuke damage comes out of these stuns. It's a solid lineup.
With that, she's gonna fall even further behind in farm, only at 19 CS at the 6-minute mark.
So another thing I wanted to point out, this top OD, he is stomping the lane in CS. He is 36 last hits with 20 denies, but also look at his build. He's not going the traditional max astral imprisonment. He is actually getting multiple points in his arcane orb. And this is the build that we really saw back when OD was prevalent in 6.87, I think? But regardless of when it was, this is kind of the old meta build. Do you think it has a place in 7.0?
I don't think this build is good at all, but...
But he is playing... Keep in mind, he is playing against Spectre and Centaur, so the more big right-clicks you get on these heroes, just the easier they die. Neither of them have a particularly big mana pool, and it is his orb that steals mana now, not his Imprison.
Yeah, the Astral is just way too good for pushing out lanes. If they're gonna just group up and just do battle, maybe, but he is going for a Midas. It looks like he was attempting to build a Helm of the Dawn, but he's like, alright, I got free farm Midas instead.
And these supports on UC Davis with the double damage rune wanted to try to find Storm in the mid lane, but he's just jungling, so they're going to rotate back bottom, and they actually might find Bartlett, who uses a TP by accident and places a ward, and he will be found out by the Vengeful, who does not stun him. He's too busy looking at the ward, possibly.
Alright, that was
Interesting series of events, but...
It looks like the Sand King had already left, so he was a bit afraid to go on him alone.
Very
and
good
now we're gonna
fissure
see
coming
Slardar
out.
gets
Centaur ult to
chased
secure
down.
the kill.
Centaur ult's committed, and that will secure the kill. Did they have another stun? Nope, they will not.
Earthshaker used the ground pound to secure the Slardar kill, but did not have any cancel for Venge. So that will be a 1 for 0 using the Centaur ult to secure it. That still goes their favor because the laning phase has been a little bit iffy at best.
So how is Storm doing now? It looks like he's gonna be directly building to a Bloodstone, not going for treads first.
But look at the net worth. He's definitely still suffering in this lane. He needs the Bloodstone because it gives him early fighting power. The treads, yes, it gives you earlier fighting power, but doesn't give you as much sustain, or as much, you know, if you can double down and secure the Bloodstone before you die.
Well, there's gonna be a push coming out from UC Davis. Lone Druid grouping up with the team in the bot lane, and they're putting so much pressure on the Spectre.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And Spectre will just get away. He looks like he's going to go for a Vanguard and Phase Boots here. He might be going that traditional Radiance build, but that's not looking like it might be the best idea because UCD is already grouping up and looking to push down tier 1s.
Not much good's happening to Radiant's
I definitely do not agree with this. If he needs to be able to fight, and as soon as possible, ASAP, because the pressure coming out from Dire is gonna be incredible once it hits around like the 15-minute mark. Lone Druid gets his items up. Oh, there's gonna be a kill on the top.
I caught the very tail end of it. Centaur stampeding in, getting a hoof stomp and double edge combo on the Lone Druid. But now he's looking to try to get away, but it's gonna be unlikely if he gets a root onto him. Bottom tower.
That's surprising that he's managed to find that solo kill.
Still no roots coming out, and now it's gonna be turn around on Lucky 57, but he does get the root. Leaden Toke is getting away with 50 health, 20 health, and he's gonna be diving for it. Lucky 57 will get the kill.
Alright, the
Savage
fear
Roar
as well.
That Savage Roar is really good. Meanwhile, bottom, I think there was a kill onto the... No, there was not. There was a kill onto the tower.
They killed the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the new range build. You fear them, and then you right-click them with your incredible range, and they just die. It's like a disable for you. You can find solo kills with that, even if you don't get the roots.
Speaking of root, playing against Storm Spirit, is that why they've favored that matchup, the Lone Druid versus Storm Spirit? Because if you get that 20% root chance, Storm has just nowhere to run.
Yeah, and then you could follow it up with the Fear as well, or the Savage Roar, and take him out. He doesn't have that big of a HP pool.
So if we look, as expected, Lucky 57 will be going for the 200 range, his kind of main hero right-click build. Initiation onto him from the Storm Spirit, but it'll just get, you know, nothing. Lucky 57 grabbing up a Haste Rune is not going to look to hunt down the Wyvern, just going to use the Shrine, heal up. They're not looking like they're in any sort of rush. They have a Midas on OD, who is going to be going a Helm of the Dominator as well. A very classic pickup from a safe laner. Not necessarily typical for OD, but that's because OD is typically in the middle lane. But, you know, it's not a bad item regardless of the hero.
I've seen it on OD before. It definitely owns.
Oh, yeah.
If your team doesn't have another Helm buyer.
Slardar looks like he's going to be going for Blink Dagger next now that he has his boots and Windlace. And Centaur ultimate used just to get rid of Spectre from danger bottom. And he looked like he was going for a kill top, but it was just going to be imprisoned and cut short. Middle lane detours a little bit. Slardar being caught out by a Storm Spirit, a Winter Wyvern, Slow, and a Fissure from Earthshaker. So now kills are back into the favor of Georgia Tech. Is this enough to keep them into the game, or are they still struggling here?
Top.
As I say that, yeah, Centaur goes down top to an Entangle and a Sand King stun, and they might just be looking to get another tier 1 now.
They get the mid-tier one, surprisingly enough, from the side of Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Storm Spirit
Think
does
about
get it.
Storm versus Lone Druid. You don't really expect the Storm to take the tower first, but Lone Druid actually has been roaming a lot, looking for kills all across the map, as well as that bot tower.
Yeah, Lone Druid did get bottom tower, and now it looks like he's hunting out top tower. OD nearly dies to the Fissure plus Splinter Blast from Wyvern, but he's going to get away with 100 health and just kind of heal up using his headdress.
The stall coming out from Georgia Tech right now is looking to be pretty strong, stopping UC Davis from trying to group up and push, but we're going to see Epicenter come out right now from Hope.
Blink Epi on Sand King already gets rooted while Cold Embrace, so even though you have Embrace to stop the damage, you're just going to be stuck there a little bit longer. Centaur all coming out to get them away, but they will be caught. Centaur still goes down, the Wyvern ult onto
Spectre in the back though, he did work taking out the OD.
The OD did not manage to heal up from that last engagement. He was sitting at 200 health, so Spectre just haunted in and killed them within a second. A 1-for-1 trade off laner for safe laner. Neither team is really too happy yet because neither team is backed off. The Shrine is up, however, for the Radiant squad. They are smoked up as well, even though they use Spectre and Wyvern ult. They're looking for more. They're gonna find Sand King right before he TP's out, but no, the TP will connect, or will complete. And the rest of UCD just hiding in the trees because they saw what just happened. And now that the dust settled, oh, has it settled? Wyvern actually is gonna see Slardar on the side. Slardar will get the stun on Wyvern, but there's not too much follow-up for it. A solid
nice three-man fissure.
Storm jumping in, finishing 2 off, and now OD, Slardar, and Vengeful Spirit going down to the gank that they knew was still there.
That's why they picked the first pick, Earth Spirit.
Earthshaker, yeah.
Earthshaker, I mean.
Definitely. Now they're looking in control. They want to push the towers against the Lone Druid strategy.
They're beating on Dire's
I don't know.
tower.
What's the state of the game? You think the net worth and XP are approaching 0, the difference between the two teams. Is there a team that
Dire's
scales
top
harder?
tower
Is
is
there a
under
team that
attack.
hits their next timing much
Dire
faster?
have fortified
Or
their
what's going to be the expected scenario here?
It's definitely in favor
Beating
of
on
Georgia
Dire's
Tech
top
right now.
tower.
With a couple misplays from UC Davis, they fed away a lot back to Georgia Tech, and they have the lineup that really needs to get things done. As I say, Lone Druid is definitely based around his timings. He's gonna hit his first right now, where the Dragon Lance is out, and he'll have his ridiculous range. But after that, he's gonna fall off. So they're gonna have to look to end this game relatively early, or find a way to just snowball through the game, as their late game is not going to be the greatest. It's going to be all reliant on this OD, as I said at the start of the game.
However,
And he's doing well enough, but he did die
late game
a lot of now.
Late game Lone Druid is nothing to laugh at, and especially with a Blink Slardar initiation, Blink Sand King initiation, that is a very, very scary late game team fight if they get these stuns off correctly.
Yeah, the only thing that prevents them from getting their late game off entirely is just the Spectre being a pretty hard counter to the Lone Druid in this range form.
Yeah.
If she can just get on him, he just dies before they can do anything.
Lone Druid having the Dragon Lance now has 550 plus 340 range, so that is at 890. That is extremely long range. It's kind of silly coming out of this hero because you normally don't expect the hero to do much. But
Dire's bottom
yeah, like you
tower
were
needs
saying,
some
Spectre
help.
is a pseudo somewhat counter to this strategy.
Because his damage output isn't the highest, and for him to just burst through a Spectre is a lot to ask for.
A bunch of spam
He would
pings
have to
coming
be
out
very
middle.
ahead.
I think they saw Slardar's invis with this Sentry Ward right here, but they will smoke up immediately after. I'm gonna miss it for a second, but here they go. UC Davis Hope leading the charge with a Blink Dagger. They will run into Spectre here. Stun coming out from the Vengeful Spirit, then coming from the
The
Slardar.
game is hard, but oh, that heal though.
Look, Spectre's right back up
He's able
full
to
health.
survive right through it, and he haunts right on Lone Druid, but seeing an OD there, he haunts right back out, but unfortunately he's gonna get taken out by the Sand King.
Huge Sanity Eclipse coming out on the top side. Storm Spirit chasing out the Slardar on the bottom side. Will get kills for both of them. Spectre does end up going down despite the tricky haunting around. And now here looks like a solid team fight win. Especially if they find Storm Spirit here, who has no mana to escape, and he has been caught out and rooted.
His
inside.
TP was on cooldown because it was in his backpack.
So that started as a really good fight for UC Davis, followed up by a very tough turn of events from Wyvern interrupting it, but they end up solidifying the win. Even without the Veil build or without the max Astral Imprisonment, this OD pumped out so much damage in the fight. And when you're winning fights, having an early game first item Midas on your OD, you're happy. You know, maybe this game wasn't looking as grim as we thought, they just needed that big timing, that good fight. And both cores going down, or all three cores going down for the side of Georgia Tech.
I think a lot of that had to do with just Spectre's itemization. If she maybe had that helm or something else to help boost up her HP instead of just this Ring of Health in her inventory, going for this Radiant Rush, they might have been able to turn that one around, honestly. The Earthshaker had Echo Slam still, but he didn't find the opportunity to really get it off.
Right. This Spectre actually did opt also for the damage talent tree rather than the tanky one, and she is going right for the Sacred Relic for the Radiance rather than completing the Vanguard. So they are going an extremely greedy, I want to get my late game up and rolling as soon as possible. And the same coming out of the Storm Spirit. The
super
Bloodstone
greedy.
just finished up.
If this pays off, then they're going to have an advantage going into the late game, but it also can just backfire on them entirely. I'm going to see what will happen right now as UC Davis is grouped up as 4 right now, pushing into the mid lane. Looks like Slaughter will be left top to farm his Blink.
And Spectre is actually coming into the fight rather than just farming from the side with Haunt being up now. But they will lose the tower regardless. It is going to be a easy tower and back from UC Davis. And now, you know, we saw that the net worth graph was approaching 0 in those last few minutes, but now it is back up to 4,000 in favor of UCD, and the XP is sitting at around 7,000 or 6,000. So they're looking in a dominant control of this game, and they have the tempo in their favor. The only thing that
Earthshaker did find time to farm his Blink though.
that is an upside. So the Dire is ahead, but Radiant is hitting their next timing very soon. Storm Spirit did not lose any Bloodstone charges in that fight. Spectre is nearing the relic closer every second, and they have counter initiations and initiations from their supports. So they're looking to cause something, make some space for Spectre, and get themselves back into the game here with a Smoke Ink mid.
I think from the side of UC Davis right now, they're gonna look for this blink timing on the Slaughter and just keep up the aggression. Maybe go for Roshan or a gank or something like that. As they should have clicked on the Spectre and realized that he hasn't picked up an item for a while, so they know he's probably building up towards that Radiance, and they're gonna try to punish that and slow that down as much as they can by starting fights across the map.
Smoke Ink is going to run into the Slaughter here. You were saying he really needed his blink, and now that's going to set him back. He is now 250 gold away. And
that was just lucky
seconds.
Smoke coming out from Georgia Tech.
Yeah, they were smoked. They put that ward down to try to scout something, and they didn't find anybody until the very last second. Definitely a nice little save from an almost failed smoke. And you know, it's making space for Spectre.
Some time. That's huge.
Making space for Spectre too. He is.
Didn't look like too much. It was just one kill, but slowing down that blink is huge for them. But right now, the Spectre has to try to stay alive here.
Spectre 400 gold off of his relic
as well. He looks like he's gone.
He just gets blown up. That Root Entangle plus the Blink stun from Sand King, that's enough to just pop him. He does not have a very tanky build, as we were mentioning earlier. He doesn't have the Vanguard completed, so his health pool is actually quite low right now. And UC Davis is going to look to take a tower converted right after that kill. But mid lane, Slardar does go down once again. He is still 100 gold off of his Blink, but once this tower goes down... Oh no, he's only 100 off after the tower went down. So he's still struggling to finish up this item, but once he finishes it, they might be in a position to sweep all the rest of the outer tier towers.
Well, that's going to equalize pretty much that Slaughter dying twice there with that tower, as well as now they get a kill onto Earthshaker bot. It's going to be actually a fight starting. OD falling low, but he's just going to turn and try to fight. Which Reverend does get the ult off, and are they going to get 2 kills here? Storm needs to come in. Haunt was already used.
Storm had to use all of his mana to get away from the 2 heroes mid. But meanwhile, they do get the trade kill on the OD. OD kills Earthshaker, but it's not quite worth it in the end, while Centaur and Wyvern secure the kill onto him. So 644 gold going the way of Wyvern. That's a huge boost to Wyvern's gold. Do you think he's going to go for the... what? Aether Lens, possibly? That's a very common pick.
Either gonna buy Aether Lens, or actually he's gonna go for Force Staff.
That's a solid choice too against this quick burst initiation.
If it was me, I would go for Blink this game. I think him being in the right position is pretty important, but the Force Staff isn't bad either. Helps save teammates. The Earthshaker's going for 1 as well.
Alright, game is hard on Spectre here, farming bottom lane. After this creep wave, he will have enough for the Sacred Relic, assuming he doesn't miss too many of them. And he'll actually use the Haunt to go fight mid, try to save Storm.
Got initiated on by the Sand King, as well as the Slaughter managed to barely survive, about quarter HP.
So with these items coming up, if you look at the net worth, Lone Druid is just way on top now. He finished the entire Mjolnir, and he's going for a BKB now, so he's not gonna be an easy kill much longer.
I'm surprised they're not going for Roshan here. Instead, they're gonna take the tower. There's Haunt is down, but they don't feel comfortable quite yet. Just fighting in the pit against the Earthshaker as well as a Winter Wyvern. Storm will just try to cut their mid creep wave as we see Centaur come out. Just a bit of a waste there.
The creeps die, but there's no backdoor for still 15 seconds after the creeps aren't there, so the tower will still fall. And they're just going to back off and be content with what they got. They're actually probably going to go top now, secure all the outer towers, secure the shrine, and then take Roche as a high ground push mechanism rather than a secure the outer towers mechanism. And look how fast these towers crumble. Lone Druid, even though the bear doesn't have items, still takes towers incredibly quickly, because not only does the bear do a little bit less, but his hero kind of makes up for it.
Yeah, the demolish on the bear with the bonus damage onto structures allows him to still shred those towers.
On the bright side, Spectre's pushing bottom tier 1 might be able to secure this tower, and that will maybe be enough to finish the Radiance here. So even though it's a little bit late on the Radiance, 24 minutes isn't ideal. It might be enough to kind of salvage what this game has turned into.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It looks like they're going to lose all their outer towers before this Radiance will be done, though. But as I say, that Storm Spirit jumps in, and oh no, a bit of a whiffed play there. Earthshaker
Miscommunication
ultimate
out of both
come out,
teams.
yeah.
Storm Spirit jumping
miscommunication.
back in, OD ult onto 4, but it does not do enough to get any kills. Vengeful Spirit goes down, Stuntar goes down. OD will imprison himself at 200 health and might live, but no, Wyvern shoots out an Arctic Blast or a Splinter Blast right before he dies. And
Haunt is off cooldown though, with Radiance, and Storm Spirit's back as well, and this is looking to be a
that's gonna
disaster.
be 1,
for
2,
UC
3, 4,
Davis.
and Hope is going to have 100 health, try to get away, but an Urn on him, and Storm still having mana.
That's what you hope for when you just pick up the Radiance.
5-man wipe. Storm Spirit does die with Bloodstone, so he does die, lose about 5 charges, respawn, and come back in. But this is what Spectre needs. Spectre is now 1,600 gold immediately after buying the Radiance. That is a huge comeback, and they still hold the tower. So after all of
Incredibly
that,
good timing for that Radiance.
that entire fight was very sloppy, though. There was a imprison on the target of Storm Spirit when he jumped in, while his entire team like blinked in and also tried to stun him. So a bunch of missed stuns out of there. And then the Wyvern ulted right when Earthshaker jumped in and used his Echo Slam, so that also missed on every single hero. So
Yeah,
both
Echo
teams,
was completely whiffed, but
both teams
the
interrupted
fact that they
their
can
partners.
whiff that many spells and still come ahead of the fight shows the strength of their lineup.
That's the Spectre effect. The
once they
lightning
have
there
their items.
canceling the blink from Centaur and allows Lone Druid just to get away safely from farming their enemy's jungle. Storm Spirit will get a solo kill on Chocobo top. I did miss the tail end or the beginning of it, but he will be back up to 12 charges. He has no mana left, and he's going to be running away from the OD, who gives up chase.
Alright, what does OD have queued up right now? Alright, look at him. He has a
He has, it looks like,
Silver Edge, a Hex, and a VKB
I
all
like
queued
this.
up.
I like it. The Silver Edge I'm not too big a fan of, but it's really good against Spectre. If you can get rid of that Dispersion and Desolate before the fight begins, and the 50% damage reduction on your Radiance Burn, that is a big factor into these fights. But I may prefer to see the BKB first, just because we saw in the last fight, if Wyvern ult comes out, if Storm jumps in, if Storm or Earth Spirit or Centaur jump in, BKB kind of stops everything, including the Radiance mischance. So I like the idea of all these items, but I don't necessarily like the order of them. And after that last fight, look, Georgia Tech is coming back into it. That's a 5,000 gold swing in their favor with that last fight. And XP is back to even exactly. Incredible turn. They were 7,500 behind just only a few minutes ago.
Lone Druid actually opting to go for a full MKB rather than his BKB.
Looks like a smoke is going to come out from UC Davis here. They're going to look to regain something on the map, some sort of control of the game after losing that big fight. But they're actually going to go straight into the Roche Pit. They have this minus armor strat, and they have a double damage rune on Lone Druid with a newly picked up MKB. So this Roche will die in a matter of seconds, insanely fast. And now Lone Druid has the Aegis. Doesn't really matter the interaction between the bear anymore because the bear is no longer important. It is the main hero who has 430 right click damage with that double damage rune. That is scary stuff.
With the MKB, if they decide to go high ground, he definitely will benefit from that, as he will not have to walk to high ground to not have a mischance on the tower.
Well,
And you can just snipe it from super far away. That's
with this
Lone
Aegis,
Druid pushing.
they were hoping to push high ground after already getting this tier 2 tower, but it looks like they're just going to use it to secure the map control once again and try to get themselves back into the lead. And with this, that will be the last tier 2 going down on the side of the Radiant. The shrines are going to be pinged out immediately. They don't want to let any sort of control for for the Radiant side. But if you look, Radiant has very nice wards securing this bottom jungle area for Spectre. So even though these towers and shrines are dying, he still feels safe. Oh, and an Arcane Rune picked up. Do you think Radiant's going to look to launch a counterattack with a Arcane Rune on the Haunt, or is that not even worth it, saving the 30 seconds? of
Potentially. They're setting up at their second shrine, it already looks like. Winter Raven is walking right there. Looks
I
like,
like
he
this
might
play.
just be trying to
Oh,
ward.
Yeah, he'll
But
TP
no,
out.
yeah, he's
Will he
just
get
TPing
roared?
out.
He will not get roared in time. Slardar stunned just a moment too late.
Dire's middle
So
tower is under
they're just looking to get some vision, some sort of safety out before the shrine goes down. And now they're looking to play some Turtle Dota on the side of the Radiant. Do you think it'll work out for them? Are they still ahead of this game because they have the Spectre Storm Spirit, that scaling that is incredibly strong, or will Lucky 57 on the Lone Druid and his team of UC Davis be able to secure the win? I don't know how well this Lone Druid builds skills into the ultra late, so you tell me, what do you think?
This Storm is a bit under-farmed. They have this timer now where they can just end the game outright if they find a good fight on them. Storm doesn't have his third item yet. We're going to see a fight break out. They're going to jump immediately onto Lone Druid. Lucky 57 will fall, but that will be Aegis, of course. And they're going to get the Sand King out as well before he gets the Epicenter off, and that is actually huge.
A solid
Nice Echo Slam
reinitiation by
onto
Echo.
two.
Incredible fight. They use the Wyvern also. They can't kill Slardar quite yet, but once that ends, Slardar will also go down. That is a 4+ Aegis for 0. They do use all the ultimates, but that is definitely worth it. Meanwhile, OD is just kind of walking away. He's level 20. He doesn't have his BKB yet. He isn't looking to try to do a 1v5 clutch play. And
Notice how ridiculous this is. Lone Druid's actually alive because of his
minus
level 20
50
talent.
seconds. That is absurd. That's almost half once you're at max level. That is half of your respawn time is just gone. So this hero is quite a formidable late game hero now. It'll
Yeah,
stop
but
the
he
push.
falls off a lot. As you see how fast he died there to the Spectre as well as the Storm.
Look at this. Odie has Shadow Blade up now, and he is in a very rough situation. TPs are going to come out from UC Davis, trying to secure something onto the Storm Spirit who gets prisoned. He will be stunned up. He will be 3-shot down. There will go his charges. But Centaur, trying to save his team, shows up a little bit too late. Now look at all this intelligence going to be stolen. He's not taking any physical damage, but all that pure damage is being dealt. And still, they're just hemorrhaging one by one. Bartlett tries to get away here, but he does get stunned up. That's going to be 3 down, as well as all the Bloodstone charges lost for Storm Spirit. And now, OD has 52 stolen intelligence. A swap in
Earthshaker
under the
trouble
Earthshaker,
as well.
too. It's just one by one, they're all falling down. 52 intelligence on OD. They have a Lone Druid to push here. Is this going to be Rax because there aren't buyback on 2 of the heroes?
Yeah,
There's
I'm
no
pretty sure
Haunt.
this is Rax. Haunt is still on cooldown. Storm Spirit's gonna do his best to try to stall the creep wave.
Sand King tries to blink over to where he is, but it didn't quite catch the Storm Spirit. And that's going to be...
Look how fast this Rax will fall.
Yeah, that's
It's
going to be the
gone
tier
before
3
they have
down,
any
soon to
chance.
be the Rex. That will only be one set, most likely, though, because spawns are coming out in about 5 seconds from other heroes. But they're going to look, they're going to try to get more. They're going to force a tier 3 bottom. They want to try to get a buyback out of Earthshaker, even though Earthshaker just spent his money, so there is no buyback.
UC Davis have to be careful here, though. They don't want to overextend. Spectre Haunt will come out now. Sand King gets the stun to stop the OD from dying, but he'll be too late, and they're going to lose a lot of heroes here.
That's 3
Lone
down
Druid dying
without
as well.
an even fight. It is on their high ground, so it is somewhat in favor of Georgia Tech, but they get another 4-for-0 team wipe. Even though they lost Rex, they're okay with how that, I guess, turned out in the end, because their Spectre is huge. Spectre has a full
Crazy
manta.
enough, I think that was favoring Georgia Tech, even though they lost to Rax there.
Oh, for sure. If you look at the fight recap, they won 5,000 gold swing and a 7,700 XP swing from that one fight. So yes, they did lose megas, but it's not like, or they lost 1 lane of super creeps. But they have the heroes to deal with it, and now they're just looking for a counter push.
Rax here and be completely fine in this game. They have a Spectre.
And now, yeah, look at Spectre. He's almost up to a full defusal after getting a Manta Style because that fight gave him so much money. A good chain stun coming up onto the Spirit Bear. Spirit Bear will be dead with no resummon for 100 seconds. So even though the bear doesn't deal that much damage anymore due to the chain jump in the build, it is a root and entangle machine. So it is a big deal that bear is dead. Storm will be swapped in, a failed 1-2 stun combo, but Earth
Echo
Spears
Slam
jump in,
coming up.
counter initiate. That's going to be 2 dead, and Lucky 57 uses his BKB. Will he be able to get away here? He's running away using both Shrines and his BKB, a Savage Roar onto 3, and they will have to run away now. Storm Spirit actually is going to be 3-shot down. The MKB procs as well as OD coming in with the Arcane Orb. It's going to be 2 dead. Centaur is not long for this world. Lone Druid will be ulted up and
Lone
killed,
Druid is
though.
dead, though.
And Wyvern will try to TP out, but he will be blink stunned by Sand King. He'll run away from the Sentry, but he's not going to survive very long. Or will he? He's going to juke into the other team's base. Arcane Orb is going to pierce right through that, no physical damage. And that's going to be another 52 intelligence stolen for OD. Are they going to try to push now with Lone Druid spawning in 10 seconds? Is that their next play? Just try to throw bodies in and get another set of Rex?
Well, they don't know if these heroes have buyback or not, and they still have to be careful. Storm is alive already with the short respawn timer from his Bloodstone. Looks like they're looking to go, but this might be another mistake.
Yeah, it's too like these past few fights have felt so one-sided for both teams. First it was UC Davis coming out ahead, then it was Georgia Tech coming out ahead, and now it's UC Davis coming out ahead once again with that failed push from Georgia Tech.
All right, they're going for it.
Look at this, Chocobo or PMA is just shadow blading straight into the base because there are no towers. He will get right onto the Spectre, and he's gonna go deep with an ultimate and a BKB usage. Both Spectre and Storm Spirit are gonna get away just barely. Centaur is gonna go down, but Racks go down as well. Haunt initiation.
And they look like they're gonna lose all their heroes here once again.
Yep, that's going to be 2 down so far. Bartlett actually is going to look like die here. No, he will secure himself with the Cold Embrace. Lucky 57 is kind of sitting in the back line. BKB already used, but he'll turn around and he'll kill Storm Spirit. Once again, losing Bloodstone charges. Look at that. Lucky 57 just kills his Sand King from full to none with his hero.
Yeah, they're all dead.
But 5
Savage Roar.
No,
Savage.
Incredible play from Lucky 57. Does he have any sort of escape chance here, though?
He's so fast.
TP,
Right.
but he canceled it. He's just looking to fight back. He knows he's dead. Tries to get a return
Almost
kill.
takes out Earthshaker there.
Yeah, that was only like 2 or 3 right clicks, and Earthshaker goes from full to none. But that will be a 5-man wipe. Fight recap once again. Huge swing in favor of Georgia Tech, but they lose racks for it. If they do
As
this
I
one more
said
time,
before, they're happy with losing 2 sets as
But
long as they don't get mega creeps.
if
they
this
do have the
happens one more
Spectre
time,
still.
it is
Yeah,
very
this can't
tough.
happen one more time. So they're gonna have to play a bit more cautiously, not feed kills away going mid,
And
as UC Davis takes their buildings incredibly quickly.
So-
But if they play a bit more calm, take these fights when they know they can, rather than trying to force fights without Haunt, they should just be fine.
yeah, despite Spectre's insane farming comeback speed, he is still below both OD and Lone Druid, and Storm Spirit is still sitting well behind OD and Lone Druid. So it's not quite as even as it seems. Most of the gold on the Dire side is concentrated on 2 heroes, whereas it's very evenly split up for the Radiant. Centaur ult coming in to try to save the Spectre, but Spectre will just go down, all that right click damage. And now Storm will as well. He tries to save his Spectre. That's going to be a 2 for 1. Definitely not
That's
worth
big.
it. Yeah, definitely not worth it for Georgia Tech. Roshan will be spawning up in like 5 seconds. I don't know if Georgia Tech will scout it out, but even if they do, I don't know if they can secure it. And now, you know, UCD might be in a position to secure out this game with this next Aegis. These 2 heroes dying, neither of them are using their buybacks despite having it because there's no rush, but they're gonna have to sacrifice this Ranger X bottom. What I expect happening is they're gonna take this Ranger X bottom, they're gonna rush straight to the top barracks, and then they're gonna have to buy back on Spectre, and it's gonna be a very tough situation for Georgia Tech.
It looks like Spectre's gonna have to use his.
Look at this, through back door they managed to finish off that Ranger X.
They're
They
gonna
don't
head
even
top
care.
right now. Spectre still has 30 seconds. He definitely will have to use his buyback.
Storm
will
spent
have
his
time
money.
to
He is 50 gold off of a BKB, and he really wanted it, but it doesn't really matter. Storm is back up. Fortify is used. They want to try to stall it out without forcing
They might
Spectre
stall
buyback.
here. They might stall here. They do have Earthshaker and Winter Wave.
There's a break onto Centaur, and Centaur gets pushed back, but that's still not quite enough. The bear will go down here.
But I think they're gonna get the
Resummon is
tower.
up in 50. But Resummon's up in 50, so they might not look to push it. They might just look to fall back, get Roshan, and look for a good fight.
Alright, Spectre is up now. They have to get away.
Yep, and they're pinging out Roshan.
For this Roshan is a bit risky.
It's risky if Georgia Tech knows that it's up. They did not scout it out when they were in this area as their 3 supports when their 2 cores died. So, you know, it's back and forth. And PMA just kind of wasting time here, imprisoning the Roshan. But they're gonna take it. They have the minus armor, but they're
They're
pinging
going
out a
for it,
reaction.
but they get scanned out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's smoke, but they get scanned out. UC Davis immediately leaves the pit and starts shrining up.
And now it's going to be a Roshan stalemate, it seems. A smoked up Radiant team waiting for Dire to kind of show themselves. Dire is content just farming it up and waiting it out. BKBs are up and usable on all the cores, it seems, other than Spectre. So UCD is actually going to smoke up. They're going to look to get a return onto Radiant. Radiant will be ready on the high ground. Spectre haunts in. They blow up Lucky 57 within a second with the Echo Slam. OD will get a return kill on
He's
Centaur.
doing work though.
But the now newly picked up BKB on Storm Spirit, they have no way to kill him. Oh, a huge kill onto Wyvern and Storm Spirit. UCD.
Now it's Spectre alone.
And now Spectre is trying to 1v5 and he goes down. This respawn time on Lone Druid, he actually used the buyback there, but
Yeah, you use buyback.
that's 5 dead. And no buyback on Storm Spirit, so they're looking to force buybacks. They get 1 already, they get 2 already. There's most likely going to be a third because they know if they lose this Rax, it is virtually game over. And Lucky 57 is just going straight for the base. He forces out another buyback. A stun is up onto him, though. They want to catch him. A missed Centaur follow-up. Are they going to be able to catch this speedy hero? He's at 536 move speed. They've recently upped the max move speed from 522 to 550, but his team will be in Roche. Will his team die to Roche? Actually, if Lucky 57 walks into the pit and this hero stomps, that's going to be dead. Slardar! Slardar, no! Slardar dies! And now OD is also very low. 1 hit away, and he lives. That could have been hilarious if OD died as well, but Slardar dies to secure Aegis on his OD. I'm surprised they give it to OD, considering OD should still have buyback. Let me check buyback status. OD does have it, while his Lucky 57 Lone Druid does not. So, interesting prioritization there, but, you know, at the end of the day, they did force buybacks out of the Spectre, Centaur, and Earthshaker, and now they're looking to secure the end of the game with their Aegis. Well, how does Radiant get back into this? How does Georgia Tech do it? They are now down 3 buybacks, they don't have Aegis, and they've lost a few fights in a row, so the Bloodstone on Storm Spirit is down to 5.
The problem with this game is Storm Spirit really missed his timings where he was strong, just dying a couple times unnecessarily with some overextensions. And now if you look at his farm compared to the course on the side of Dire, he's really far behind. He's finding it hard to get a lot done relying on his supports. And so if they don't all play to the highest potential on the Radiant heroes, they're gonna start losing these fights just because of the 2 extremely farm cores on the side of the Dire, and what really turned that fight around with the Lone Druid buying back. But I think in a high ground defense situation, they still have the advantage. So UC Davis might still be a bit cautious of just walking straight top and trying to secure the mega creeps, and we're seeing that right now as they're gonna continue to farm up a bit more.
Yeah, they have the buyback penalty still down on, or not the penalty, but no buyback available on Lone Druid, so they really don't want to ruin that, and he is very close to a full Bloodthorn complete. This Lone Druid hitting with a Bloodthorn is going to be quite a dangerous foe. It's going to also diminish the Radiance miss chance, so if they target Spectre or target Storm Spirit, have them silenced up and clicked down, they will fall very quickly.
I think Wyvern has to save his ultimate for the BKB on the OD.
Yeah.
It's still at a very good number, 8 seconds, and he was able to dish a ton of damage with his BKB in the last fight there.
And now it looks like they're going to try to push.
Oh,
Wyvern's actually going to try to
whoa.
initiate, jumps in, he forces his team to react. They will get a
He's
jump
dead.
off. Wyvern dies, but they do get a kill on Lucky 57's Lone Druid and the Vengeful Spirit. BKB's used. They will try to get Sand King here, but no. OD kills the Spectre with a huge Sanity Eclipse hammer drop. Centaur is hiding behind the trees. He has blink up in a few seconds. He will knock it away, but the stun coming out of Earthshaker might save him. OD's sitting at 100 health. He does have Aegis still, though, and that's going to be 3 dead for each team.
Earthshaker's dead
Looks like
as well.
Yeah, Earthshaker has 100 health.
Oh,
Storm
whoa,
over on the
whoa,
side,
whoa.
though. Storm actually won't be able to finish the kill. Huge outplay by this OD. He's going to kill all 5. No buybacks. Even though their pusher is dead, he has Aegis still versus nobody. This looks like it's going to be the end of the game here. Fortify used in desperation, trying
That's
to
gonna
get
be
them to
mega
back off.
creeps.
Maybe not even mega creeps. Maybe the entire game. There's no heroes on the other team for 30 seconds. And Lone Druid's going to be spawning in 3, so if he buys Boots Travel here and gets right back into the base, will he do it? It seems like he's just content walking over, but that's full megas. Storm Spirit actually does get buyback back. It passively ticks up enough gold. But OD's sitting on 80 intelligence, has an Aegis, has his BKB up still. He's not very scared. He's inviting some sort of response. And he's just going to actually Shadow Blade. He's going to Shadow Blade back in. He's going to double back. He's going to try to get Wyvern here. With the solid right click, maybe he could do enough damage, especially with Slardar here to follow it up. They will try to get Earthshaker, but Earthshaker will dodge the blink stun from Slardar. And they're going right for the tier 4s. Lucky 57 did make his way back in. He's working on one of them, chomps it down all the way through. Storm Spirit jumps in, but his target gets swapped out. And they want to hold out for the Spectre, but they might not be able to. failed initiation from Centaur onto a BKB OD. Storm Spirit also jumps in. He will also die. Good Cold Embrace, or Wyvern ult, but it seems this Aegis on OD is still just not going to go down. And with that, Lucky 57 is focusing base. That will be the end of the game. A solid showing from UCD. Wow. What a game.
The teamwork almost made the dream work, but unfortunately, they were just short.
Alright, there will be a short game, or a short break between game 1 and game 2. We will give you a word from our sponsor, and we will be back shortly with a 1-0 advantage for UCD in the series.